This is a Fox News alert out of the newsroom now. An additional 5 classified documents have been found at President Biden's Wilmington home by special counsel Richard Sauber. In a statement out just now, Sauber says he obtained these 5 pages Thursday and that they were immediately taken into Justice Department custody by officials who were on scene with him. Let's bring back Lucas Tomlinson. He joins us from the White House North Lawn. Lucas, what are you learning about the content, classification, anything about these documents?
Well, Jillian, I think it's notable. Recall the exchange that our own Peter Doocy had with President Biden himself when Doocy asked, like, where were these classified documents? Were they next to your Corvette? And the president admitted, yeah, they were by my Corvette, but the garage was locked. Well, now we're hearing that additional classified documents were found outside of that garage. So whatever justification the president had for keeping classified material in his home in Wilmington, outside of any kind of secure means, a SCIF, what have you, the fact that these documents were found outside the garage completely destroys the president's argument, saying that, oh, the classified material was kept locked next to my 1967 Corvette.
And Lucas, remember over the summer when President Trump was having his issues with his own, classified document investigation, President Biden went on 60 Minutes and kind of went out of his way to essentially say, how could anyone be so irresponsible? Those comments may come back to haunt him a little bit now, right? Because we now have several days this week alone where it's this drip, drip, drip of finding more documents.
Certainly, and in the context of the 2024 election, President Biden has said he intends to run for re-election. No official announcement has been made, but all signs are pointing that he will run again. Former President Trump has announced he will be running again. So you now have 2 presidential candidates, a president and a former president, are both under investigation right now for their handling of classified documents. And of course, remember the images of the FBI raiding President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home compared to what we're seeing now, where much of what we're learning is from the White House itself. Like this statement this morning from President Biden's attorney saying these additional classified documents were found, that's taking the word of the White House.
Lucas, let's tally this up now. We've got 20 pages, right, of classified documents. We've got at least 3 locations where the documents were found, the Penn Biden Center, and now at least 2 locations inside the president's personal house. The subject matter of this national intelligence ranges from Ukraine, we're learning, to Iran. It's pretty hard to make the case that this is an aberration at this point.
Right, and of course, what a lot of people are pointing out, President Biden goes to this Wilmington home almost every weekend. In fact, this morning when I walked in here to the White House, the Japanese Prime Minister was still here across the street over there at Blair House to hold a press conference. And so many people are wondering, if President Biden is spending so much time in Wilmington, how are classified documents not just being kept over there? I mean, of course, you have secure rooms where the president conducts business, of course, and those are top secret facilities. But the fact that it was a garage, and now we're hearing about a room adjacent to the garage. You just displayed that New York Post headline with the Corvette and the box that looked like, frankly, most people's garage with a bunch of stuff just thrown in the corner in a box with the lamp and all that. So really, the president has insisted he takes classified material and the handling of it very seriously. But what we're hearing right now, it doesn't look like the words match up with the actions, Jillian.
And Lucas, this looks like it might in itself create a brand new news cycle this weekend of more of these documents being discovered. I know the president is out there essentially, taking it easy in Delaware this weekend. Do you anticipate the White House is now going to have to come out, hold a press conference, make some sort of statement now? Because this really started turning into a bit of a media frenzy these last couple of days. Some of the more contentious White House press conferences we've seen in recent months. Do you anticipate, or are you hearing that the White House is going to come out and say anything about this new discovery?
I thought it was very notable that President Biden, when he met his Japanese counterpart, he did not answer any shouted questions from the press. You saw President Biden when he walked out to Marine One to leave to go out to Wilmington yesterday. He took no questions. I think right now the president is out there actually laying low. I don't expect to hear anything from the president or from some of his close officials.
To Bill's point a moment ago about the amount of time that the president has spent in Wilmington over the course of his administration, we know that right now the Secret Service is refusing to comply with a FOIA request from the New York Post. There's a lawsuit going on to get a visitor log to find out who has visited the house while the president's been in office, when he is there and when he is not there. What can you tell us about the time the president has spent there. I think it's more than 100 days so far, right?
Right. There's been over 60 trips. He goes there most weekends, just like he did when he was a senator. But critics, of course, point, hey, you're no longer a senator. You're the president of the United States. But to be fair, many presidents spend their weekends away from the White House. Of course, Camp David, that's what that's for. You don't have to have, Secret Service around you at all times. But certainly a lot of questions about not just the time President Biden spends out here, but just the handling of classified material. I mean, you ask any staff sergeant in the Marine Corps, gunny, or sergeant in the Army about handling classified material, that soldier, that Marine's going to tell you, you don't handle classified material like this. So certainly the double standard. And now that you have a Republican majority in the House of Representatives in charge of these committees, they have subpoena power. They could be dragging officials up here to talk about these discussions on camera, guys.
All right, Lucas, stay close by because we're going to bring you back later in the hour as things continue to develop. Thanks very much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.